Hello, this is FG back with you for Ambinar. Today we are picking up with the Austin Foss campaign. Last episode we went ahead and conquered the coastline of Amadia, minus Nerbusalar, who we will be fighting in a few years. I think I added truce map mode. Alright, we have 7 years before we fight them. As you can see, I went ahead and granted a whole bunch of territory to our vassal over here, which I did primarily so they can get more manpower, and also they're going to eventually have to get this land, so I wanted to go ahead and do it before I have to do it for the mission anyways. Alright. Kirka is an impressive city of metalworks and forges, producing sets of armor and quality blades that match the bronze work of the Fasiri. Entering the forges, Jasimia I is astounded to see hundreds of skilled craftsmen working on the finest steel swords she has ever seen. Looking to her left, hundreds more are working on helmets and shields, but something more catches her eye. A blue rock shining with a hue she recognizes, a shard of the body of one of the dead gods. Inquiring more about this stone has led Jezemi I to discover more about how the Kaonai use the blue fragments, and hearing about their practical use in combat and study for mages. Have you ever studied how to use these fragments in your smithing? What? Let's work on that. Alright. We will do... Our manufactories have become expert at producing new weaponry with the assistance of shamans. This has come in the form of magically enchanted metals, which are enchanted with new properties to suit the needs of its user. Unfortunately for us, the unfocused use of the magic has prevented it from being properly allocating these new metals. We need to concentrate, and that focus comes in the form of... let's do strengthening our army, and also let's come study... yeah, let's do illusion. Some familiars. Alright. Now, we want to get this army right here. This army needs a general. And this 120,000 should be enough to win. Okay, what should I take for KO? This one. Have I already popped duplication? No. Do Elemental Fury though. Vassals need to go back to siege. Alright. Promising trader. That one. Get him up higher. Alrighty. And these guys can handle anything that rises up over there. Let's get rid of oversight by the clergy, clerical ministers, first quest rewards, and then all of them. Shit. Did not mean to do that. You can improve relations with them though. Alright. Culture-wise, eventually I do actually want to culture convert all these provinces over. Yeah, take Tolerance of True Faith. It was a complete accident, nothing more than a slip-up. It should have led to nothing. A shaman simply happened to drop his staff into one of the large forges after he tripped. Not knowing the staff had fallen into the mold of metals below, he searched for hours and hours across the forge for his prized staff. It just so happened to be that the shaman was careless enough to let go of a staff knowing it had essence of our Lord within the stones adorned upon it. The staff melded with the bronze and iron inside of the forge, glowing blue and yellow. As a Kirkin smith poured the forge onto the casts of weapons and tools, he noticed some of them were laced with a strange new metal. She called her friends to take a look at it, and eventually the shaman who had been looking for her staff had arrived once more and found his tool melted into the pommel of a short sword. It glowed yellow and blue, as light as paper yet as hard as steel, and most importantly, the shaman was able to focus spells into it that came out with a punch with strength and vigor that the shaman could never achieve otherwise. This was never supposed to happen, yet now that it has, we cannot help but take an interest in this new alloy we have discovered. Alright, influence is 50 or greater. We will do reduced research regulations. Alright. Alright, that should be basically everything course up. Send one there. Here, here, there, there. Alright, they go there, there. Here, here. Alright. And then we'll colonize that. Alright, we're getting a nice Eltikan mount over there. Here, 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 there. That way. Alright, so now let's do a test. We're gonna take this whole area ourselves. That's 15 war score. Okay, we probably need somewhere where we can actually transfer the occupation. Would probably make more sense. These guys can get back. Where is my fleet? Over here! Alright. These guys need not participate. They can do... We need another merchant. We would be fantastically rich if we could get like 1 or 2 more merchants. What was I doing? Yes, get the fleet. Alright. These guys can all run down that way. Okay, so we take it, 15 war score. And if we give it to them... Way more, yeah. That's what I suspected. So we are going to have to take all of these provinces ourselves, then transfer it over to them. Which will be exceptionally annoying. willing to surrender 100% war score now? No. Alright, that's fine. Okay, that should be enough. Yeah, it is. Alright, so they need to move them there, and these guys can move back. March that way, fleet comes back this way. These guys will handle any sort of rebellion here, because we do need to take care of our vassal. Curtail the burghers, embrace free trade, mercantilistic approach. Do that. And they can head that way. Where is Wesdam itself? What if I send them an insult? Alright, skill 3 diplomat for half off. Not useful. We can get rid of religious diplomats as well. We're also gonna need to revoke a bunch of privileges from the merchants guilds. Alright, and culture-wise, doing all of these. Let's do not these guys from drill, and they need to head back to Amiens. They can drill. Is there any rebels? Yes. Do that. All right. When we discovered the alloy, smiths across Austin Foss began searching for practical use for its unique properties. Some have stated that its magical sturdiness allows it to have great strengths in buildings and for tools, while others claim it is too brittle to be of use in anything outside jewelry. Nobody can confirm whether these claims are true or not because research is disorganized, with the scarcity of fragments continuing in such a manner will lead to unnecessary waste of rare resources. If we are to make use of our new invention, then regulating our studies through leadership and camaraderie will yield better results. With the decree from Jessamina I, smiths studying the powers of the ally would make their way to Kerka to work under the supervision of magisters and Ray alike. Progress has drastically sped up, and the use of fragments has been regulated to where we are not wasting it constantly. This new material, known as Jinkita, has proven itself to have strange properties. It bears great durability alongside a light weight, but many shamans have told us that they serve well as magical foci. Smiths in Kerka have also determined that they are well suited for enchantment, meaning they could be used by non-shamans as well. Thus, Jane Katia's magical properties have been determined to be best suited for weaponry, allowing us to summon the power of our lords in battle. Alright, what? Yeah, we do need to get a little bit of drilling done. Alright, truce with Busalar is up in a few months. Alright, culture-wise, we are... Convert these areas. Alright, I think that's good for Eldibahar culture on Eltikan. I don't want to actually convert any of the cities over. Just kind of like... Basically, I'm trying to surround the mountain and sort of the outlying areas, which... With that, they'll basically have their coastal cities. I just like pretty culture borders. Grant province. Pay off their debt. This also lets us convert that and make their realm more stable. We've nearly converted all of the Regent Court over here. Not really seeing any Coronite anywhere. The hell is that? Oh, that's Coronite, I think. Hey, Wesdam. Favor, no. Economy action. Nope, they will not share with us because we are competitors economically. Let's explore Southeast Alien Tier Coast C. Alright, we'll take that now. Culture cost. And then we want to take that. And that. Nice strip of Eldibahar culture. Go right there as well. That, and we'll go with the merchant guilds. Already call and abandon there. Go here instead. Take the prestige hit. Bad. Get rid of this guy. Development here. After it was determined that Jane Katia was best suited for weaponry, many generals across Eltikan began researching how to implement it into their armies. Enchanted weapons made of Jane Katia would be easier to fit into our armies, as making a hammer and having our smiths and shamans work together to make it stronger has proven possible thanks to our testing of the alloy. What is harder to justify is the inclusion of shamans in our armies. Viseria armies have never properly included them outside of special cases, as casting spells on Borbak was difficult and tedious, especially considering that the Viseria weapon of choice was the heavyweight warhammer. The reward of allowing shamans to be included in our armies could be shocking, though, as Jane Kaita has been shown to allow for easy conduction of spells, even with the heaviest of weapons. We must take the time to understand if it's even possible to include them among our ranks. Alright. Through many rounds of testing and despite many difficulties, shamans have slowly adapted to casting spells with Jane Katia hammers. Normal spell casting is extremely difficult while riding a mount, as proper balance and delicate movements are easily lost as soon as you start moving. That doesn't mean it's impossible, though. The light weight of the Jane Kaita makes it easier to hold than a regular hammer, albeit still heavier than most magical foci. Many shamans have also discovered that by using momentum while you gain riding your boar, alongside making larger movements of the hand, one can cast large and powerful spells, albeit at a slower pace than normal. Nonetheless, this shows that there is definitely a way to include shamans amongst our ranks, and their abilities definitely provide coverage that we have never had before. The only thing to do now is to make room for them. Let's do... in the front. Alright. Yeah, let's actually get rid of, like, 6 of these to improve our income by a lot. These need to get full cord. We'll put one on this lovely little island. One right there. And then over here. Let's just throw one down there. Alright. I did also force our religion on them, just because I didn't want them trying to convert things to hero cult, and it makes it a lot faster. Alright. Modian control. Alright. We will go grab the cavalry, grab all of that. Who are we? I think it's just these guys we're at war with. Alright, we'll do that. Take the money. For all of that. Okay. The Gautier Faith. Gautier. Alright, we need to move our armies back into position. And let's do a War Wizard. Combat with 30. We are at 32 men. I like that. I need that. Do I need major credit? Well, I need to keep... Okay, we don't actually need... the, what's it called? Don't want that. I want that, because we are going to integrate these. Which is going to be super expensive, but we need to do it. We can spare the mana. Alright, illusion is good. Study illusion again. Alright. That's useful. Not useful. These are the ones that are actually good. Alright. Prove ourselves. Let's go ahead and get the fleet out. As we did with the Kayanai and Medabahar, to achieve our goal of fully integrating the Teichendi into our nation and culture, we must prove our worthiness to them. Even if we succeed in conquering their region, we will not be their first unifiers. To get Teichen to accept us, it will not be as simple as demonstrating that we are far more noble than their previous unifiers. In Teichen, morals mean little, and it is might which speaks the loudest. There will be no need for abstruse negotiation or shared camaraderie. Unlike the Kaonai and Medabahar, the Fasiri and Teichendi speak a shared language. War. What's the point? Punitive war? Yeah, state religion, diplomacy support, minting rights, autonomy, this, Navy Commission, Parliament, civil service, titles, regiment, pressman, civil service. And we can also take this, so we can actually transfer trade power here. Which is an enormous amount of extra money for us, because we still are not actually all that rich. Instead of doing that, I came over here. We want to take full states, so we'll take that, and that. There. I'm gonna go right there. That's done. We can go here. Alright. Could I... Nope, nothing over there. Again, all of these are good. Yep, that's fine. Need to go grab that too. Yeah, alright. With Jane Katia hammers being put to use in our armies, our shamans working amongst the ranks of the regular soldiers, there have been problems with organization and proper implementation of these new tools. This has led to an inefficient battalion stuck in limbo, and that serves us no use. Restructuring an army to allow for cohesion is no small task, especially for one as large as ours, but it must be done. Alright. Go through the reforms. Get rid of inflation, and you need production buildings. Okay. So I gotta send them to go deal with the Orneru zealots. Alright. And then we can do this province. Here, alright. Spirit decor. Alright, there we are. Send a colonist right there. A lot of Wesdemarians. Okay, there. There. Be really nice if they actually let me fight them. But I suppose that's not an option, so we're just gonna have to siege everything. Here. That. Alright, we good. And then we want to grant them that. These guys can head back to Amiens. The fleet needs to head somewhere else as well. My overextension, like, is... Okay, we will start calling or coring some of that stuff to hand over to them. Right. They will need to handle anyone who rises up. And... oh, they managed to deal with that. Go ahead and throw... suppress rebels down there. And of course, some more provinces up. And... rotten. Yep. Yeah, whatever. Alright, that is all but one of the culture conversions. Do I want to do these two as well? I'll do this one. Alright. That, and make the merchants guilds happy. Do they want that? We can get some more production buildings going. Seems pretty good. Alright. Thank God. Really did not want to have to deal with noble rebels. I'll go ahead and do that one. Guilds are still unhappy. Never a good thing. I'll do that. More production buildings. More tax buildings. Colonized. That can get colonized. We also need to do that. Start throwing down some of the big forts. For that. Minor inconvenience. Trade efficiency. And here we want to grant them that province, grant them that province, grant them that province. Where's the culture map mode? Yeah, we're not gonna bother giving them those provinces. These can become Chinhayan. So we can have nice big what's it called? Nice big culture borders. Set one right there. Oh, actually, never mind. We want to go here instead. Yeah, we'll go grab it. Yep, summon familiars. We'll do a few divinate, a few guidances. No, I will grant strong duchies. How much gold, actually, do we have? Ah, pretty good amount, actually. Along with some precursor relics, which are just as valuable. Alright, I think we should only be 2 more wars. Ish. Their opinion needs to be 180, and their liberty desire needs to be less than 30%. Let's declare for... Who are we at war with? No one. No one, obviously meaning just Westham. These guys can get upgraded. And we need more forts to ward off the death winds. Level 4 forts, I think, give... yeah. This way. And manufactories, yep. Gems are nice. Right there, here, here. Send the focus right there. so if I was to take all of these provinces, be like 18 war. Okay, we're not too far off. We'll hang on to one colonist for the moment. Now taking war score should do it. Let's get a couple more. Alright, so with the level 4 forts, we get 3 and 1. That's better than nothing. That one will benefit especially from it. Gives it a whole bunch of things to, what's it called? A whole bunch of provinces to cover, is what I was thinking. Alright. We can throw... I'll throw one down there. Alright, we have almost converted all of these heathen outsiders over to our correct religion. This can not be converted because it has separatism. That's being done. This can become Chendhayan, however you fucking say it. And that will have almost the entire region be the correct culture, which is great. Can I steal map? Covert action, steal maps of South FLI, I guess. Alright, I am going to end this episode here, though. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.